Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Humbled with the most beautiful host that you've ever met, me. Today is a good day. I'm feeling good. I am in my male friend's sweatshirt, which sounds wrong because I am a wife, soon to be. Probably not that soon, but my friend used to work at Mad Happy, and so he has a bunch of clothes, and so he gave me one. I have recently been hanging out with him a lot. We always laugh because he's like a seasonal friend. We'll go on a streak of like hanging out and like, having a good time. And then like we won't hang out for a couple months. So right now he's in season, he's trending. And so I was laughing because I've been posting him a lot because we are really into the Knicks. He's a huge Knicks fan and we've been watching games together since like last year. So this entire finals run, the whole series, I'm posting him every day. He's going crazy about the game. His shirt's off. He's in every story. He's hugging me, like just like really being quite intimate. And very obvious that we're friends. I don't know. Either which way, I'm cracking up because my boyfriend couldn't care less. I mean, no one has ever swiped up. It's literally a photo of my guy friend fully shirtless, puffy nipple in my mouth, washboard abs, groaning, gold chain in his teeth, and my boyfriend swiping up saying, "Looks so fun, go next." I'm like, how about text me that you're pissed? Why don't you be like, and who is this? Like, he's a little too laid back, and like also don't be scary and like beat me up for having male friends, but he's not really allowed to speak to women, so it shouldn't be that equal, I thought. Either way, he gave me a bunch of stuff, so I've been wearing this hoodie, and it makes sense why people wear hoodies on a podcast. Like, I understand why Alex Cooper had the whole lounge wear, and she's in a fucking swimsuit sweat set every damn episode, because when I'm filming, I might not even have 8 rolls like that, but when I'm filming, there's 12 rolls. Just like when you're in the position, I would like sweats too. I'm even in jeans right now. I'm overdressed. Like, this is improper. I've never sat on my couch with jeans before, so this is big news. Okay, I am really happy to be home. I don't know if you guys saw, but I was in Australia for about 10-ish days or so. My sister came with me. God bless her heart. We had the best time. Traveling so long like that and in a different country and that amount of time in air and in flight is just a humbling experience altogether. I have never looked more beat, bustin', musted, and crusty as I did on the 30-hour flight. If you didn't know, flying to Perth is 30 hours from New York. We went from New York to San Francisco. Then from San Francisco, we went to Sydney. And then from Sydney, we had to go to Perth. So it was like 5, 17, and 6. And that altogether should equal 30 in my mind. It was pretty brutal. The good thing about Australia, though, is that they were really nice. They let us sit together. They literally moved our seats. We were like, "We're sisters." And they're like, "Do you guys want first class?" Like, just like so kind, versus we know the United States, if you didn't take out your fucking mouse pad, you get shot in the face. So it's like, it's amazing. Like, we were really happy with our experience. It was a great time. On the flight back, I had no one sitting in the middle. She had no one sitting in the middle. I was a window seat. And I originally was middle, but they knew that I would have brought a bomb on the plane if they kept it like that. So it was a great experience. The probably most humbling experience of traveling that much is that sometimes you forget some things, especially when you are out of the country. You kind of forget the rules of maybe when you go to a different country, or we were traveling within Australia so much. We went to Perth, then we went to Sydney, then we went to Gold Coast, and then we went to Melbourne. So we did a lot of travel. We had like a tour guide with us the entire time who was like managing my tour. So it was me, my sister, and him. And I was there with a Happen Group, which is like an EDM company that's now going into comedy. So having like their, DJ analytics and friends at a comedy show was just so funny and really a crossover. And being able to travel within Australia was really easy. You don't even have to take out your water bottle. In Australia, going from city to city into domestic flights, you're allowed to have water bottle half drank spit in, vodka, piss, urine, cum, or wee-wee sauce. They don't care. They don't even open it. They let you go right through. In New York, if you bring, a shampoo bottle that's over maybe just a little bit of the tester amount, you get tackled and shaved like in Monsters, Inc. But in Australia, they're chill as shit. So when we were leaving, we're still in this chill mindset. Okay, we're coming back to the United States and we're just like, it's chill. You don't need to get there as early with Australia going back domestic. We went literally 30 minutes before. It was amazing. And then we said we're going back to the United States. We decided that we're going to go a little bit earlier because why not? And our flight, we probably were getting there maybe 30 minutes before it was going to start boarding. But again, in Australia, happens really quick. Everyone's really chill. We were going to New Zealand, and that was like 4 hours, 6 hours. I don't know. It was a shorter flight, but it didn't feel like the big United States entrance. We didn't really think we had to do anything. We're just going to show up. We show up to the airport. We give our bags. We're excited. We're like, this is going to go by so fast. Life's amazing. And when they take our names, they're like, did you guys do your visa? And we're like, oh, like, yeah. And she sent me like a visa website a little earlier. And I was like, I don't know if I have to do that. She fills it out. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't do it. And the woman who's taking in our bags, who is a very chill Australian person, as they all are, is looking actually really scared. And she was like, oh, but it boards in like 4 minutes. Like once it boards, you cannot do the visa anymore. Like then you will not have time and you won't be able to fly and you can't board. So I'm like, 4 minutes. And she's like, yeah, and it takes around 5 minutes. So I literally said, hold my fucking poodle. And I stood in place. And I did this visa so fucking fast. And you had to copy your passport and you had to pay for it and put in your card information and where you were going and if you brought any spices and herbs and all this crazy stuff. It was extremely stressful. She was like, it closes in 2 minutes or else you can't fly. You have to live here. Like, it was really crazy. I ended up doing it really quickly. My sister, her woman, was a little confused. And I was like, you need to stop talking. You have to do it now. You have 60 seconds. Otherwise, we get deported. And she was like, okay. So she starts doing it. We finish up, we get back to the counter and we're like, we finished the visa. And they were like, amazing. We have Daniela, but who's Juliana? And we're like, oh, she's here. And they were like, she put her passport information in wrong, so it didn't go in time. And at this point, we are lilac colored. We are see-through. I mean, we wanted to like maybe 11 a.m. It wasn't that early, but it's early. We had a long evening. We're shocked. We're flying back. Now we're about to have this huge day of travel. It's exhausting, and they said that maybe she can't get into the fucking United States. So we have a moment. They're so beautiful in Australian, though, that they literally figure it out. Like, what? And they were like, okay, like, we're going to call the pilot to, like, edit it, and, like, it should be okay. And I'm like, that's amazing. In New York, again, they would never do that. You would have to give $1 billion and a blowjob to have gotten that done in time. And they wouldn't even care. But they were so nice. They fixed it and it was beautiful. But we were actively frightened. I mean, that was a good 4 minutes.
We had to download an app.
Did we?
I downloaded it.
I was on maybe the Safari.
I was told to download an app.
Her woman had her playing Brick Breaker and doing a lot of things that I think were a little unnecessary. We had to download an app. Service was slow. We had to remember our Apple ID password. Like there were obstacles. It wasn't doing Face ID. I was writing in old usernames from 2010. It was like, no, that's not you. It was stressful, honestly. But luckily, things were okay. We made it through. It was a good time. It was definitely better than my flight leaving Miami. I remember that I was in aisle, I think, and I ended up sitting next to a young man, maybe our age. And before we took off, he was like, are you that comedian? And I was like, please, not today. I was like, no, who is she? And he was like, Daniela, right? And I was like, that's the only place that I wouldn't want to be recognized. I don't want to be spoken to in an airport, especially in Miami. I'd rather have this guy have been next to me during the Aussie flight of 42 hours and 42 days, because sitting next to me in Miami after I just rocked my dick off for the entire weekend and he's saying, who's your favorite comedian? That almost broke me. So this Australian flight was a 10 out of 10 in comparison to that. Yes, I am stretching. Yes, I am. Just thinking about the 30-hour flight has me doing a fucking crossbow stretch right now. I'm not sure if that's a stretch, and it should be. Anyway, that was an extremely humbling moment from our travels. Our last city in Melbourne, we stayed at a hotel, and there was this really drunk girl on our floor who was having a psychotic break, and she was also wasted. And she was screaming, I mean, like, ah! Like yelling, like someone was stabbing her. And it was maybe every 30 seconds just screaming. And then the Australian cops, we already know that their disposition is Care Bear, and they, protect and fight with the power of friendship. But the way that we missed the United States after this, I was like, we need that bitch slammed against the wall, fucking Blue Lives Matter her and put her in cuffs and have her screaming, go Brandon, because they were a little too blasé. They were just like, okay, baby, breathe, let it out. I'm like, tase her ass. Like in New York, she would have been institutionalized and drugged up for days and had a censorship like Britney Spears. Like they were literally like, okay, what else? Keep screaming. I'm like, no. We would say what's wrong, and they were like, it's okay. And then we started getting American. I'm like, well, we are paying citizens of the hotel. We have the right to know. We started doing our Miranda rights. I don't even know those. We're here listing up the fucking Bill of Rights over here. And they're just like, the girl is having an experience. I'm like, it's not an excuse, okay? Cuff her to the bed and beat her with the Billy Cliff, because that's not right. In New York, they would never. Anyway, it was a very humbling trip in the best way. We had the best times. We literally met a best friend for life. We stayed at a hotel that also was an apartment complex. So the half of the floors were a hotel, half of them people lived in. And when we were in the hot tub, we met a guy who is from LA. He works in the touring agency, just really a normal guy. We get a mutual friend, and he was relocated to Australia. He was the best. We literally clicked with him like cousin and cousin. We ended up hanging out with him for about 4.5 days straight. Morning, lunch, night. Never left his side. We went to the zoo. We did an escape room. We did dinners. We did Mother's Day dinners. I mean, we did anything. We shopped with him, walked with him, hiked, coffee, pool, hot tub. I mean, we did everything with him. Every experience that you can do, we did with him. I mean, it literally, we call him Cuz. And Cuz, if you're watching this, we miss you and we love you. And we were laughing. We've never had a male straight friend that we would hang out with this much. He literally was just fucking cool. And we were obsessed with him, and we were laughing, confused why we liked him so much. And we were like, is he a cult leader? We didn't know. Maybe he's, what is it? Is he Mason, David Mason? Who's the killer? But what the fuck was his name? Charles Manson. If he was a cult leader, I would join, because that was the best weekend of my life. And I have a boyfriend and have had many career milestones, but that weekend with Cuz, best weekend of my life. Today we have 3 fire stories that I'm so excited to get into. Let's start with story number 1, called Dirty Talk. My poor laptop is thrown around, unlike me, because I'm doing long distance. Okay. In college, there was this girl I started to sleep with. I had a 5-bedroom house with 5 guys, but this was during break, so most of the guys were back at their hometowns. The girl and I got home and thought we had the house to ourselves and smashed in my room. We tried round 2 in the shower, which was tough because she likes cold water and it was too cold for my preference. Okay, this is the only girl in the whole world that likes a cold water shower. You know, every bitch that you know likes a hot boiling. I want to look like my back was whipped, okay? I want to be red hot, scathing, like someone literally beat my ass back in childhood and my cheeks were hot. That's how I want to feel after getting out of the shower, okay? A cold shower. Who is this? After a cold shower, we went to my room for round 3. During round 3, I was like, wow, thank you. I'm going to chef you the best breakfast in the morning. I'm sorry, him saying thank you after having sex is concerning. She goes, oh yeah, what are you gonna make me? This was in between smashing, so I started saying random breakfast foods in between each pump, like eggs, bacon, avocado, sausage, potatoes, waffles, etc. We were both cracking up, but she made me keep saying breakfast foods while smashing. The next morning, I went downstairs to prep breakfast, and my roommate and his girlfriend were looking at me like, we heard you had fun last night. My heart sank because I thought we were home alone, and I share a roll with their roommate, so they heard everything. I went to a party, and some of the girls looked at me and said eggs, bacon, sausage. My friend's girlfriend messaged her sorority group chat about what had happened, and they all found it hilarious. I had to explain myself far too many times that I didn't have a food fetish, even to another girl I had a crush on. Literally a year later on spring break, I was talking to a girl from college and she goes, I like you, but I'm not sure I can go home with a guy who shouts breakfast foods during sex. Whoa! Damn. I mean, I don't really know what I would say if it was a one night stand and every pump you're saying ricotta, mango, smoothie. Like, I don't know if I would do well with that. Even my boyfriend, if he was hitting it from the back and reading through the fucking seasoning cabinet, like, I don't know if I can do like salt, pepper, Italian herb, oregano. Like, I don't know. Even I would think that's funny, okay? My post-nut clarity the next day would be extremely scary plus anxiety, and I would just get flashbacks that you were naming every dairy product in the fridge. Go-gurt, yogurt, Chobani, cottage cheese. Like, that would absolutely kill me. Also, sharing a wall is very common. How thin was this wall that they heard every fucking ingredient that you're putting in that damn omelet? Like, they literally heard mushroom, 4 cheese, Mexican blend. Like, damn, you gotta move out. That's so funny. That's crazy. I like the girl, and this is why I'm an empath, because I wouldn't be able to do this, even though I have had all my life. You're saying you hooked up with this girl. She was laughing all the way through while this was happening. And then the next sentence, you said even the girl you had a crush on thought it was weird. Those are 2 different people. You should only be pumping pepperoni and fucking Domino's ingredients into the girl that you like. Like, what is with the 2 girls? I feel bad for the girl that got the breakfast buffet, and now for the crush, you're going to be normal? I don't know. I mean, that is really funny. I don't know how you would live that down. Also, the amount of times you have had to explain that is probably so many, and you're probably getting heated up while you do it, because I would. Because, you know, when you're telling the truth and then everyone's like, no, and you're like, yes, and then you're really taking them back, and you're like, I was arching her back while saying anchovies. Like, now you got to get descriptive and you have to really go into it. Oh, I feel your pain. That's so funny. Good story that made me laugh. Keep it up. Story number 2 is called First Impressions. It was my first year dating my ex-wife, and she invited me to the grandfather's lake house in upstate New York. I hadn't met half her family yet, just her parents once or twice. So I'm brand new. We get to the house and meet her grandfather, grandma, cousins, aunts, uncles. We're talking 15 to 20 people in a tiny house. The second night, we were all feeling comfortable and very intoxicated. The next morning, someone had the bright idea to go on a hike. When I'm hungover, it goes right to my stomach. I may or may not get a headache, but it is guaranteed I'm going to get diarrhea. Mind you, we are upstate. There are some severe mountains up here. So we all go on a hike. About halfway up, I start getting cold sweats. I'm just praying that when we get to the top, there's a bathroom. We get to the top, no bathroom, of course. I have to take several cute photos like I'm not about to shit my pants. As we start heading back down, I know there are ungodly things brewing inside of me. About halfway down, I look at my ex and say, I'm not going to make it. Decisions were made, and her and I veered off into the woods. I found a nice tree that was angled on a hill. I orangutan hanged off of it and took care of business. She gave me the shirt off her back to wipe with, which was very nice of her. We then headed back towards the trail. The only problem is we couldn't find the trail. We were lost for about 30 minutes. Once we finally found the trail again, we finished the hike, and her entire family was waiting for us in the parking lot, worried about us. Her uncle asked if we were making out in the woods, so unfortunately I had to tell the truth and tell them I had to poop in the woods because I would rather be the new boyfriend who pooped in the woods instead of the new boyfriend who fucked their granddaughter in the woods after meeting them this morning. Whoa. Honestly, I would have rather blew my back out in the woods than blew your butthole out in the woods. Like, good Lord. Also, orangutanging yourself and shitting, I just genuinely don't think it's possible for me. You had to defy gravity. Then also you're using this muscle, but using this muscle, like you had a fucking workout day. That's crazy. She's also such a real one that you said, I'm feeling gassy. And she said, okay, let's make a left into this oak tree. Like, how long were y'all together? Because I don't think you could break up with someone after you do something like that. Like, now she has blackmail on you. So I don't know how well you know her now, but she saw you take a dump in the wood. Does the bear make a sound when he shits in the grass? What's that saying? Does a tree make a sound if no one's around? Absolutely. If you're on a hike, I don't know if I've ever seen a porta potty before at the top. Maybe if you're on the sequoia trees in California and it's a full ass resort, but a porta potty at the top of a hike, I mean, that would be rare. They should start that. Also, I mean, I bet so many people have taken dumps in the woods because if there is no bathroom, I mean, you got to. I think that's probably also a good thing. Like, you're just like fertilizing, and like maybe wherever you took a dump, you're gonna go back next year with your ex and you see dandelions popping up. And there's like, where is this from? And it's because you drank Henny the night before. Maybe that's something that can happen. All right, story number 3. This story is titled Getting Arrested. Right to the point. Thank you. I had been dating this girl for a few months when Valentine's Day rolled around. She had been going through a really rough time, so I planned a great day to make up for that, involving going to a movie, dinner, and ice cream in the park. What can go wrong? She had the day off work, so she pre-gamed our date and was a little buzzed by the time I picked her up around 4. On the way to the movies, I got distracted by her and had to change lanes at the last minute to turn right. I ended up getting pulled over by a cop. Great start to Valentine's Day date. It turned out I had a breach warrant out for my arrest because I forgot to pay a $180 ticket from 2 years ago. I was asked to step out of the car and was placed under arrest. My visibly intoxicated girlfriend couldn't drive my car, so we had to leave her on the side of the road while I was taken to jail in handcuffs over a $180 ticket. My girlfriend had to call someone to pick her up so she can go home, sober up, and then pick me up from jail after I paid the ticket. I ended up getting released and picked up at 10 p.m. and we grabbed McDonald's on the way back, ate, and went to bed. Not surprisingly, the relationship did not last much longer. Whoa. That really went 0 to 100. It started off kind of cute. I knew something was going to take a turn when she pre-gamed the 4 p.m. dinner date. That's when you know things are going bad. When you start drinking before 4 p.m. and you're going to a dinner that you're already going to drink in, just wrap it up. Cancel the reservation. Let's just split a Four Loko at home because things aren't going to turn out well. Getting arrested for a $180 ticket from 2 years ago, I mean, I've never gotten a ticket like that, but have they been sending out reminder? If so, they should. If not, getting arrested over a ticket, one ticket, is crazy. Like, arrested. I mean, I'd be like, pay on the spot or you have to lick my badge. Like, I don't know. I think that's a little crazy. Leaving her on the side of the street is hilarious and insane. And she's intoxicated. I mean, what'd they do with the car? I guess the cop took it. Like, this would be really OD. I would be so fucking pissed if I was like a little tipsy and cute and I have fucking kitten heels on and a new top and you're over here getting arrested because you didn't pay a parking ticket and we were supposed to go to Carbone and now you're going into a cop car. Like, that would rub me the wrong fucking way. And the date sounded so cute. Movie, dinner, ice cream. Instead, you did jail, bail, and McDonald's. I mean, whoever broke up with who was needed, okay? Because after that bad date, and there's a lot of bad first dates, but this is like our fucking 18th date. We're already in the swing of it, and this was a bad date. Get me home. I know that Happy Meal was not a happy meal. All right, guys, this is our episode for today. I loved all these stories. You guys are so talented submitting and having experiences. I love it. I'm going to read every single one. I already do, but I will post every single one unless it's really bad. So get your story up. You can submit a story at the link in my link tree that says Tell Daniela What Happened. It's all the way at the bottom. If you scroll, but if you wanted to, you would. So I will see you guys next week. Thanks for watching. Bye.